So in August of 1955, Emmett Till was visiting his great uncle Moses Wright, who was also a reverend, and his cousins in Money, Mississippi. And his cousins and him went to the Bryant General Store, and supposedly an altercation happened between him and Carolyn Bryant, who owned the store with her husband Roy Bryant. And they had to run away. Emmett and his cousins had to run away. And supposedly, according to Carolyn, Emmett had catcalled and whistled and like grabbed her hips and all this crap. So a couple nights later, Roy Bryant, who was Carolyn's husband, and JW Milam, who I think might have been Carolyn's brother or Roy Bryant's brother-in-law, something like that, they came out to Moses Wright's house and with a gun and a flashlight and essentially kidnapped Emmett in the middle of the night, like 1 or 2 in the morning, something like that. And they took him back to a barn and tortured him. It wasn't really a barn, it was more like a shed next to a barn in a plantation. Tortured him. They cut one of his ears off, they gouged one of his eyes out, they beat him senselessly, horribly. And there was a kid that had actually walked by while this was going on and heard what happened, and I don't remember if it was JW or Roy that had come out because they saw the kid walking by, and they asked the kid, well, did you see anything? And the kid said nope, and he's like, good, go away. And the kid ended up testifying at the trial for Emmett Till's murder. But anyway, they tortured Emmett, and it's not known if they shot and killed him there at the shed at that plantation, or if they killed him later on where they ditched his body. I personally believe it was probably in that shed, just so that way they could finish him off there. But either way, he was eventually shot and killed, and they took his body out to the Tallahatchie River, and with a 70-pound shop fan, tied it around his neck with barbed wire and threw him into the water. And a few days later, I think it was some kids were fishing, or some people were fishing or something, and they saw legs sticking up out of the water or something, from what I heard. And don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, but that's just what I've heard. And it was Emmett Till's body. Now, they were going to bury Emmett in Money, Mississippi, except for the fact that he wasn't from Money, he was from Chicago, so his mom wanted him up here. And so his mother had his body transported up here, and she had an open casket funeral so everybody could see what happened to her son. And you can find the pictures of the funeral online, they're everywhere. Gruesome, absolutely disgusting, gruesome, horrible, horrible death. Essentially his death kind of helped spark the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, you know, they both saw what happened to Emmett Till. Everybody saw what happened to Emmett Till. It was in newspapers everywhere. The photos of his body was printed out in newspapers. And funeral goers, people that went to the visitation and saw his body on display for a few days, said that it was just a horrible, disgusting sight to see. As you can imagine, being tortured and then, you know, being thrown in water, that's just horrible. And something that his mom, I can't remember the exact quote, but something his mom had said was she remembered how beautiful his teeth were. He had pearly white, beautiful teeth, and that most of them had been knocked out. So I'm here at Burr Oak Cemetery in Alsip, Illinois. Pretty simple looking cemetery. It took me a little bit to find Emmett's grave because every grave out here is pretty much flat. There's only a few of them that aren't. It's like a memorial garden out here where you can only have flat stones. But this essentially it started the civil rights movement. Definitely helped to start it. So this is the grave of Emmett Louis Till. He was born July 25th, 1941, died August 28th, 1955. A 14-year-old black boy who was killed for no reason, because in 2008, Carolyn Bryant, who I think ended up divorcing Roy at some point, I don't remember, confessed in 2008 that she didn't really have any altercation with Emmett. Emmett didn't, you know, catcall or whistle or grab her hips or what have you. Nothing actually happened. So she made all that up. And also a trial had started later on. I was talking about the boy that testified at the trial. Trial started later on. Of course, Roy Bryant and JW Milam were both acquitted by an all-white jury. And then a few months after that, they had a newspaper interview where they both confessed to the murder because they couldn't be tried again due to double jeopardy laws. And they confessed to it for just, like, I don't know, a few $1,000, I think. It wasn't that much money back then, and it definitely still isn't that much money now. So this boy was killed for no good reason other than the fact that he was black. Pretty disgusting. So yeah, this is the grave of Emmett Louis Till. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all liked it. If you do, share it with your friends and family and give me a like. See you guys later.